My name is Dominic Krub, and I want to welcome you to SMARTbizCRM. This next video is a live interaction that I had with one of my brand new customers when I was brand new, showing the system. I want you to watch it with the idea that you're going to learn the overview of the entire system. And if you're thinking about signing up for SMARTbizCRM, but you're not sure yet, there's a pop-up that'll pop up. Schedule an appointment. Let's have the conversation. Let's see if this is right for you. And after the video, if you're still not ready to buy, still schedule an appointment. Otherwise, go ahead and purchase the product. You got a 30-day money-back guarantee. I promise you it will work for your business. Let's get you up and running, and let's build on your little successes to let your successes pay for your improvement. Thanks, and enjoy the video. I'm going to give you a quick overview, and then I'm going to set up an appointment with an onboarding team that'll actually connect some of the dots for you. A couple of things we do want to make sure you do is that if you don't have a Google My Business listing yet, we want to get one of those, set that up. If you don't have a Facebook page, you need to set that up. Those are great ways to connect as you grow your business and expand your reach. A Stripe account is the easy method of connecting your money. Don't worry about Yext for now. That's the launch pad. My goal is to start businesses with this because it's really a solid all-in-one sales, marketing, communication platform. Well, I call it SMART. Sales, marketing, advertising, reputation, and training are all built in. Eventually, the dashboard will be meaningful as you're setting up. It takes a little while to get into the habit or practice of getting into good sales and marketing habits, because these numbers will become more meaningful as you add more opportunities, as you start to get clear in your pricing, and then you start to manage your conversion rates. And when it's just yourself, it's a little tough, but it'll be good practice as you start setting up the systems and follow-up systems. And when you learn and grow over time, you'll figure out how you want to handle phone calls, emails, texts, Facebook messages, all those things. And then as you build your team, you'll be able to see who they're assigned to, what type of categorizing, capturing, organizing, and helping you prioritize the actions that you need to take at the time you need to take them, which is really the orchestration of your business. The big thing is that you've got a single conversation manager. I'll switch to mine in a second so you can see it in action. We can set up multiple calendars, and in that mix, you can have things like a calendar for yourself, the stuff you got to do in terms of sales, or have a sales calendar. And then you can also have your scheduling calendar, like for your clients that want to schedule your turnovers are like, what's your standard turnover process time right now? 3 days. Like you do a 3-day turnover per apartment typically, right? So you put those on calendar and then assign them to different teams. The goal is to start as simple and clean as possible, like with just one little piece of the puzzle, which is probably just managing your conversations first, just managing the conversations for you getting contracts, right? That's the first chunk of your business. We'll get an address book going for you and a calendar and an email so you can just start engaging in and managing and monitoring your own conversation inventory. Let me show you mine. Quick. So we'll walk you through. I wanted to show you these conversations that happen. So there you are. You sent me a text. I'm in. I can send you a text back. Me too. And we'll get you set up for texting. Get your email set up. You can create templates. You can collect money. You can attach files. So initially, and one of my goals for you is to have you start well and build strong, right? What I want to guide you through, the best way to get in the habit of using this. And then eventually my vision is that at some point, there's gonna be a good time to transition and add Salesforce to this, because Salesforce is a platform that is much more robust in terms of running a business. And the investment you would make to automate and make this do the things Salesforce does, to me it's like, why do all that when Salesforce is pre-built? This is actually a more robust marketing platform, but a much more rigid system in that regard. So you have these conversations, and there are certain things that are considered marketing activities, certain things that are considered sales activities, certain things that are considered product activities. The thing that I want to do first is load your address book. Then we can start the process of segmenting your address book. Big things like identifying personal from the professional relationships. And I know there's crossover, right? So we do that in this kind of database with something called tags. We can also collect specific data for your business in data fields, all of which will help you design and manage your communication better. So it's being able to take your address book and then segment starts the training process of becoming an owner marketer, right? Because people, and you learned this through all your communication class, right? Everybody's the same and different at the same time. They've got a name, they've got an address, they've got a phone number, they got an email, they got a Facebook page, blah, blah, blah. That's great. We want to collect those sames. And then the data we collect, in addition to that contact information, will inform us on how to separate them by all the different factors that you'll learn over time. And you probably already know some of this from your business. You're in the property management business. In property management, there are employees that are on site and employees somewhere else. And the title does not necessarily relate to the role. And the role being their level of influence, their level of impact, their level of satisfaction, their level of connection, the level of relationship. Each person's got a different story. And so the goal with any database is to collect all of the details that tell the story about how you interact with them, or what you can expect from them, or what you need from them, or what they need from you, or what you're going to communicate to them. Does that make sense? It creates that context, and then we can start to segregate and separate that. So the first thing we're actually going to do is get your list together, all your address books, let's get them in one spreadsheet, and we'll clean up that spreadsheet before we import it. Make sure that names are in the name column, emails are in an email column, that there's not any extra notes, there's phone numbers, and we'll clean up that data before we import it. And then we'll look to see what else you know about them. And the things that you need to know, we'll create custom fields, and we'll make sure we put all that so that we add these levels of segmentation. I'll teach you how to use the filters. The difference between this CRM and Salesforce specifically, and others like Salesforce, is this CRM is really a person focused. Salesforce is really account focused. So the company is critical to the addition of a contact. In this, I only need phone number, that contact information, right? So this contact focused CRM is very different than company focused CRM. And that's good because you're going to be dealing with your contacts first. This is where you'll see your payments and the invoices and tax settings. You'll end up creating an inventory of things that you sell. I know you don't have any contracts or clients right now, but you've got an idea of the things you want to sell and the price you want to sell them at, I think. And so I would say when we get started in the marketing process, pick your best ideas and you'll be able to adjust them over time. We'll try to be as clear about setting up what your products are so that you can have orders and transactions and make sure that you keep track of that. It also integrates with Stripe, PayPal, and QuickBooks. Let me go into the marketing side, the social planners. From marketing standpoints, you can build out some email templates. When you start to notice repetitive conversations in your manual email, then you can start to think about templates, because templates are just saving you time for what you know works. And it's all building over time. The beautiful part of this is also the automation. Campaigns and triggers have now been put into workflows. But one of the other little pieces of automation that I'm going to give you as you get started is going to be a review management set of workflows. That is, as you do work for people, we're going to stalk them until they give you good reviews. So that, because reviews are the way people buy, and this will also control the access that they have to reviews. Nothing's going to stop them from going on their own, giving you a bad review. But if they give you a low rating, it gives you a chance to handle it before it actually gets published. So some cool things in there. Workflows are all about taking appropriate action when the data tells us the term, if this, then that. When you think of workflows, is when this happens, we always do that. And when you discovered those pieces of your business, then we want to build automation to support that process. I do not recommend a whole lot of automation when you're just getting started. Unless you've already bring in some old workflows from other past experiences, we'll do that. But there's an almost unlimited amount of technical investment you can make in automation, which I do not recommend any of that to start. Once we get your address book loaded up, we probably want to have a campaign of communication to your address book to let them know you're in business. And then, and in that, you might ask the question as a friend, hey, Dominic, I just started this business. I'm working with apartment communities and landlords and owners of multiple properties. I help apartments increase their cash flow by speeding up the turnover process by 42%, guaranteed. Do you know anybody in the apartment or landlord industry? That would be a good question to ask somebody. So that might lead them to what's called a funnel. So a funnel is a web page with no links. It's all a presentation to capture information. You're giving them something, and in return, you want them to give you back something, usually name, email, phone number, right? And the reason it's called a funnel is because we control the pages they go to through the process. And so funnels are just forced website journeys. It's like going IKEA. You got to go in the one direction, And there's a couple of sneaky spots, but ultimately they want you to pass through the entire place to get to the last place in the store to buy whatever you want. It's their guided journey. It's the same way with funnels. Usually there's like a welcome landing page. And then depending on what the next step is, their actions take them through a process. We can also build your website. We have templates for that. Another kind of website is a membership website, which is really like a training platform, but you can use it for onboarding new contractors, for training, like to make sure they have certain knowledge. And when someone goes to the class, they log in to the membership site and I can deliver any type of structured communication that I want. Like there's welcome to the course, about your instructor, like all these little chapters and those kind of things, right? You can create these courses and you can have the whole course at once. You can drip it over time. You could make it an obstacle course, like they got to finish session 1 before they get to do another section. You can also collect forms and surveys, which you might learn over time. If I'd have just asked them this question up front, I'd have known to steer clear. Or if I'd have just asked them that question up front, I'd have known to give them way more attention. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So we can build in through the landing pages or funnels, through the forms and surveys, and even your chat widget, all types of data collection mechanisms that allow you to better qualify or disqualify prospects, vendors, employees, however you want to use it. Does that make sense? So that's all built in. And of course, you have a little chat widget that goes on this website or any website. And of course, there's a reputation setting where we're asking people for reviews. You make the requests and you can also manage the reviews, and you can see the reviews. You could send review requests. You could decide where you want the review on. Right now, it's only Google and Facebook. And then listings is an added service I put online to make sure that my listing is accurate on all these different kind of listing services. So that's a basic overview of the platform itself. What are your questions about that?
As of right now, I don't have any questions. I think I'm going to need to just dig around in it.
Here's the settings. Fill in the information. Obviously, it's all your stuff. When we get your phone number set up, we'll have a voicemail for it. We'll add people to your team. The pipelines piece is part of your sales process, the typical stages of sales. So typically with a pipeline, the first thing would be prospecting. And the reason I'm telling you this is that in all sales processes, each stage indicates the kinds of behaviors that you should group together. For example, if somebody's a brand new prospect, you're probably calling them to find out, hey, do you guys use outside services to turn their apartments, correct? So if you have a list of 100, you make 100 phone calls, you get 100 answers, and now you're left with 2 separate lists. Let's call it 50-50. 50% of them do, 50% of them don't. The next thing is to start to see if you can set an appointment. Are you going to set an appointment with the ones that do hire outside people or the ones that don't hire outside people?
With the ones that do hire them outside.
Right. And once you schedule appointments, all those 50, and you got nobody else to call, then you can call those other ones and try to convince them to hire outside people. But that's the harder road, the higher challenge. We want low hanging fruit. Qualifying is a good stage to find out, do they have a budget, a need? And then you might identify decision makers. You tell me, what do you do?
That actually is pretty spot on. I've used obviously different CRMs and everything.
So this is the standard kind of out of the box. You identify companies, then you try to make contact with people to see if they're in your market or not, or where they're at prioritizing. And then can you get to decision makers or not? And then when you get to decision makers, and then of course, close one or close loss. So I'm just putting those in there to start with. So we have a sales pipeline. We'll set up your calendars, your phone numbers. And then when we get all your database together, we'll add custom fields that you think, or that you might want to have in your database. Custom values are if you've got a Zoom link, that's a standard Zoom link, a calendar link, phone numbers, or just whatever you want. You can set up your domain, load up any media you want. And then the other integrations would be to connect your Google, Facebook, and Instagram. Clio is a lawyer's platform. If you use Shopify, it connects with that. If you have a Google account, that'll work for up to 500 emails a day. When you hit that, we need to transition you to integrates directly. There's a lot to it, but all I want you to focus on first is getting a list of contacts together and do an export, and we'll import your contacts. Think about the kinds of things you want to know about the people that you want to do business with, and then the standard business data that you'll see when you look at a contact record. The contact gives you the interactions, name, the address, website, those things. And then additional info are all of the custom fields that you want to know about them. And then we'll install all that after you're onboarded. I would recommend take those 7 videos, that guide you through that little process. And if you get stuck on any of those 7 videos, I definitely want you to shoot me an email about it, because I want to see what I need to fill in from the videos to that gap in terms of my training. How was it? Did you get a good idea of it? Now, the video will be different than the actual platform when you log into your system for the very first time. But I wanted you to know, as soon as you sign up, the first thing I want you to do is check your spam folder, just in case the email fell into spam. Why? Because email sucks. People use it inappropriately, and therefore we got to deal with all that. So check your spam folder. Make sure your phone number is a number that I can text, and don't opt out of any of the messaging unless you're canceling and you're definitely done with me, because that's the way I communicate with you, through email, text. If you go to my Facebook page or my Instagrams and all those other things, you can catch me there. But I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Maybe you rewatched it. There's more trainings. There's more detailed discussions. We do live trainings every week. That's included. And if you're taking advantage of one of our special offers, God, you're lucky, because this is a platform that you not only invest your money, but you'll invest your time. And I want to promise you that if you make that investment, you can't out-invest my commitment to help you be successful. Does that mean you might have to spend more money? Absolutely. Should you try to do it all yourself? Only if you're good at it. But just get started. If you become brilliant at the basics, little by little, over time, you're going to see the stress of your business go down that you're experiencing. Your processes are going to become more efficient. You're going to end up getting free time, time that you can actually breathe and think and eliminate the chaos and turn it into cash flow. That's what I'm committed to. And I hope to see you in one of our live training sessions. Thanks, and make it a great day.